I would like to call the May 21st, 2020 Board of Adjustment meeting to order at this time.
Thank you very much. We're going to do a roll call vote. Kaylee's going to call each of your names. Just please say yes or no if you're here. And we're going to follow the same protocol when it's time for you to vote. Go ahead, Kaylee.
Okay, Stephen Silvernail.
Here.
Raymond Everett. Tony Teeters.
Here.
Johnny Forker. I believe she may still be muted, so.
Or she's not called in.
Yes, you're.
She is logged in. She just needs to unmute. So I'm going to go ahead with others. Larry Mead.
Yes.
Jerry Hoffman.
Here.
Mary Frederickson.
Here.
Okay, we'll move forward. I'll confirm with Johnny later. It shows she's in here. I think she just may have her mic muted.
Or Johnny, you may have to call in if you don't have a microphone.
So what we just did with the roll call is how we're going to handle votes later when you're ready to vote. We will do a roll call, and you can answer yes or no based on whatever motion may be on the table at that time. All right. Tammy, you're up. Thank you.
Okay, so next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the December 19th, 2019 Board of Is that right?
February
No,
20th.
it's not. I'm sorry. Here it is. I was on the minute. Approval of the minutes of the February 20th, 2020 meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept and approve.
Second.
Now, may you state your names when you motion and second, please?
Larry Meads made the motion
Gary
to
talking second.
approve.
Thank you. Okay, we can move forward.
Is there any further comment or corrections? This is Tony, by the way.
Okay, so none. This is Tammy. So none. So Haley's going to do a roll call vote. And Johnny, you may have to put yours in the chat.
I don't believe Johnny has audio.
So Johnny, you may have to go down to the bottom of the screen and put something in the chat.
Good idea. So, okay, so we're voting on approval of the minutes from February 20th. Steve Silvernail.
Yes.
Tony Peters.
Yes.
Larry Mead.
Yes.
Jerry Kaufman.
Yes.
Mary Frederickson.
Yes.
And then we will defer Johnny's vote. I'll wait for a confirmation on chat, but we can move forward with the meeting.
Okay. So our spiel, this is an open public hearing. It is being taped, recorded, and videotaped by the city. The proceedings are being televised by representatives of the public media, the public, local cable, and or radio stations, and may also be rebroadcast. Staff members that we have present, we have Kaylee Nunez, our recording secretary. We have George Worley, our planning manager. We have Bryn Stotler, community development director. I'm Tammy DeWitt, the community planner. And I don't see our attorney at this time. Matt Prodacki, our city attorney.
Here.
And we also have Council Liaison, Councilman Steve Shiska on the line too. So, and for everybody else who's here, thank you for participating, and please be patient with us today. So, let's get started on the first item. So, CUP. Let me bring the presentation up. Okay, so item number 1 is a request for a conditional use permit for a self-storage facility per Land Development Code, LDC Sections 4.7 and 9.3, site zoning. The zoning is business general. The location is 1527 West Gurley Street, Prescott, 86305. The parcel number is 111-08038C. The applicant is Matthew Nebeker. The property owners are Joseph Demore, trustee, and I'm not going to try to butcher the rest of it. So. Okay. So, like I stated, the parcel is zoned business general. In the business general zoning district, in order to have a self-storage facility on any part of the property, it does require CUP approved by the Board of Adjustment. Okay, hold on, I guess there's something wrong there. Hold on. Oh. You can pause. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second, we're having difficulties. Why is this paused? Hold on a second. My presentation for some reason is not coming up. We're having a problem with this presentation, so give me a second here. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, it looks like that's going to work. Okay, I see heads. Okay. Okay, we'll start this again. So, there we go. Okay, now it's going. Okay, parcel zone BG. This is the parcel we're looking at, existing shopping center. Here's the imagery of the property. It does have a block parking for what was used before. There is no proposed uses of the parking area. There's no new buildings being proposed. All they're doing is looking at a small portion of the building to be used as a self-storage facility. This is the site plan. What's highlighted in yellow, these two sections, are what's being proposed to be converted to a self-storage facility at this time. And then here's the floor plan of the building to show what part of it is being used as a self-storage facility. It's approximately 4,090 square feet of a 65,000 square foot building. So the rest of the building, there are no other proposed uses at this time. It is all up for a lease. It is proposed that it will be open probably 7 days a week. Usually there's very little traffic once these are established, but to try to mitigate possible noise for the neighborhood, staff is suggesting possibly setting time limits, if the applicant agrees, from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., which would mitigate any impacts from noise or activity associated with customers visiting the storage units. So here's the building itself, and it's this portion over here on the far right that's being proposed to be converted. These are other businesses that are adjacent to the parking lot. Then we also have the restaurant that's still open at this time. So this is a request for a CUP for a self-storage facility. The suggested motion is to move to approve or deny CUP 20001 to approve a self-storage facility in the Business General Zoning District located at 1527 West Gurley. Our recommendation was also have it approved as per the site plan and floor plan submitted with the application, with the condition limiting the hours of operation from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So that concludes my presentation. The applicant is also on the line if you have questions of him. And so I will turn it over to the chair to see if there's any comments or questions.
Are there any comments by the board as far as concerns or changes?
Tony, this is Larry Mead,
Okay,
and I have some questions for the applicant.
and the applicant is online, right, Kaylee?
Yes, Matt Nebaker is here.
Okay,
Hello, Matt.
Hi.
Sorry, I don't apparently have audio, video, but hang in there. Matt, are you going to use this area totally as is, and you don't need to do any kind of remodeling on the interior?
The plant, right now it's currently, I think there was a tile store that was in there before, and I think a medical use. So we will, we've submitted a floor plan to put in 27 lockers inside the 4,000 square feet. So the next steps would be to have that handled, and so we'll be taking some walls down on the interior and building lockers.
And will you be putting up a sign?
Well, that's to be worked with the city for the retail. Eventually, yes.
Okay. And if it was not for this recommendation, what hours would you prefer?
Probably even less than what the city. I mean, I think it was
7 to 9?
Yeah, it's probably just standard business hours. The having it on the interior of a retail center just allows us to temperature control the what's on the inside. What we're going to eventually have is either a keypad or some sort of, that would be shut down during off hours. So we were looking more something probably 9 to 5.
Well, then you can certainly live with 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. then.
Sure. That's correct.
All right. Well, Tony, those were the only questions and comments that I had. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
thank you. Is there any other comments that are by the board to be directed before Mr. Nebaker?
Yes, this is Mary Frederickson. Given the applicant's comments just now, this is kind of new, but on my part, I didn't see the need for limitation in the hours of operation, just given the location of the shopping center, the big parking lot right in front of it. There are just businesses in the immediate area, most of which, other than the restaurant, would be shut down during non-normal business hours. I didn't see that there was going to be any impact on the neighborhood for the rare chance of somebody coming in the middle of the night to access their storage locker. But given that the applicant is saying he's not anticipating a 24/7 operation, my comments are just moot. I'm just putting it out there for the record.
Okay, thank you.
Tony, this is Steve Silvernail.
Yes, Steve.
Yeah, I got to echo what Mary had to say. Quite frankly, I don't see a reason for the limitation in hours, but if that's what he's willing to do, I'm good.
Okay. Any further comments?
And we do have hopefully members of the public on the line too that may have questions or comments too, so make sure to reach out to the public.
Are there any other callers from the public that wish to speak?
Okay. Or not.
Yes,
There are
this
no
is
other
Frankie
comments?
Reynolds.
We are ready to take a vote on this.
I'm sorry,
Actually,
pardon me.
of course, we need a
This is,
motion.
Well, okay.
Hang on a minute. We
Hold
have
on, I
somebody-
think there was somebody from the public that was wanting to speak.
Oh, okay. Pardon me.
Okay.
yes, that's correct. My name is Frankie Reynolds, and I had a question for the applicant about future plans for expansion within that particular facility. Is there any intention to move beyond the 4,000 square feet space to additional space in that building in the future?
Thanks, Frankie. Yeah, we would like to start off with the 4,000 square feet just to see sort of almost a test run. The idea, there's roughly 61,000 square feet next door, that if it's successful, that maybe there'd be room to organically grow into the building.
And then my follow-up question to that is there an intention to move to exterior storage such as RVs, boats, recreational vehicles of any kind out in the lot? I know it's quite a huge lot, and I'm wondering if there's any intention for that in the future.
We've entertained it. Right now, my financial, my pro forma is based on lockers on sort of a niche market of having temperature controlled, sort of a, just a nicer lockers inside a retail center. So we haven't looked at it beyond, but there is a lot of parking out front to be used.
Yes, and I'd just like to say from a resident perspective in the area that I think that would really change the feel and the nature of the neighborhood to have a large area like that covered with, recreational vehicles and boats and things. I think that would really be something that I would not like to see happen in that neighborhood. So I just want to put that out there now. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
And this is Tammy from the city. At any time they're going to expand beyond what's on the floor plan that's being highlighted now, or to go out into the parking lot, it will require an amendment to the CUP and come back through this board and through the public hearing process. So at any time that anyone proposes anything different, it'll have to come back through this process, and the neighbors again will have a chance to speak on it.
Very good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time.
You're welcome.
Are there any other
Tony?
comments from individuals?
Hi, Tony, this is Larry Meads. I do have one more question for Tammy.
Yes.
Tammy, is the fire marshal going to inspect this?
Yes, they have comments, and it's being discussed whether it has to be sprinklered or not. So it does have to they have to get building permits for the conversion, and they'll have to also get a separate permit for any signs and meet the sign requirements for the city. So yes, everything will be permitted for that use.
And I'd also like to thank the applicant for a thorough set of documents.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there anybody else from the public or from the board who has questions or comments? No, then we'll close the floor and we'll go to Kaylee. Oh, go back to Tony to close it, to close the floor, and to have Kaylee do a roll call vote.
You need a motion.
Oh, we need a motion, sorry.
Yes.
Yes,
I would
Neil.
entertain a motion on this at this time.
Tony, this is Steve Silvernail. I make the motion to accept the use permit.
Thank you, Steve. The second?
Jerry Kaufman. I second the motion.
Any further comment?
Okay. We are now ready to vote.
Yes, I have a comment, Tony. This is Larry Meads again. Since city staff recommended the hours of 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Can we include that in the motion?
Well, yes, we should, because it, well, no, because it's already advised in there, so I don't think we need to. Well, I don't know.
We do need to have that, that it's per the site plan and the floor plan and with the recommended hours.
Okay, then, this is Steve Silvernail again. I make a motion to accept the use permit as identified with the site plan, and with the limitation of the hours as proposed by the city, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Thank you, Steve.
Jerry Kaufman, second.
Thank you. Okay, we are now ready to vote. Just state yes or no after I call your name. So Steve Silvernail,
Yes.
Tony Peters,
Yes.
Johnny Forker. I do believe that Johnny still does not have audio. So Larry Mead,
Yes.
Jerry Kaufman,
Yes.
Mary Frederickson.
Yes.
Okay, we will move forward. We will have to contact Johnny for her vote at the end of the meeting.
Appreciate it.
So it passes.
So the motion passes, yes.
Oh, it passes, yes.
Okay. Tony, why don't you read the second item into the record while I pull up the presentation?
I didn't hear what you said, I'm sorry.
Why don't you read the second item into the record, and I'll bring up the presentation.
Okay, agenda item CUP 20-002, 3128 Willow Creek Road, APN 106-20423, Land Development Code Sections 4.6.4.A and 9.3. Zoning is neighborhood-oriented business. Request for conditional use permit for a 24,000 square foot building for a new surgery center. Owner is Dr. Hojat Askari, and the applicant is Stro Architecture, Inc., community planner Tammy DeWitt.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. Yes, this is CUP 20-002 for a 24,000 square foot surgery center. The subject property is zoned NOB, neighborhood-oriented business. In a neighborhood-oriented business, there are restrictions in our land development code that a building can only be a maximum size of 12,000 square feet. So per the land development code, if they want to go larger, they can apply for a CUP and go through this process to be approved by the Board of Adjustments. Here's the imagery of the property. So we also have this pad too that was platted as part of this center. And this is actually in the process of being converted to parking for this new building. So we're losing one building pad, and what they're kind of doing is taking the combination of the allowance of the two pads and combining it into the one. So here's the site plan that was submitted with the request. And this is the property that the new building is going into. It is at the back of the complex. This is Willow Creek Road here. And then we have a family Dollar General over on this corner over here. And then it's all these buildings have the one access point off of Willow Creek Road. It is proposed to be a 3-story building. And these are the renderings that were provided by the applicant. It is going to be an outpatient surgery center. This did go through our pre-application conference, and there are really not very many concerns with it. Here's the access off of Willow Creek Road. It is at a light to allow for adequate access. These are other buildings already in the complex. including an urgent care center there. This is the area of the proposed surgery center. There is a creek behind here in a green belt to the residences. It is in a low part of the complex, so the height may not be an issue from the roadway and not be that visible. And then this is the area that's an additional building pad that's being in the process of getting permitted to be additional parking. So the suggested motion from staff is move to approve or deny CUP 20002 to approve a 24,000 square foot building in a neighborhood-oriented business zoning district located at 3128 Willow Creek Road per the site plan and renderings submitted with the application. And that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions, and we do have someone from the applicant is also on the phone.
This is Jerry Kaufman.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, I have some questions about this 24,000 square foot medical building. Number one, I would like to know approximately how many employees are going to be employed there, and how many parking spaces are being planned for that land, and about how many patients per day are going to visit that facility.
Is the representative there from the requester?
Just say your name, and Melanie will recognize you. So she's been doing good so far.
Hi,
So they're on item number 2.
Miss from Stroh. Is there anybody on the line from Stroh Architecture?
Yes, can you hear me or see me?
Yes, now we can. Yes, thank you.
Good. Well, the building is 24,000 square feet, and the first floor is the surgery center, and it's anticipated to have about 15 employees there. The top 2 floors, the second and third floor, are regular medical office building suites, and they are designed for about 4 doctors per floor, and there'd probably be an additional 12 staff members per floor. So you're talking 16 and probably 16, so somewhere in that neighborhood. You know, as far as the number of patients, that varies. I couldn't really tell you that. We are having per the city's request, a traffic study completed that is kind of analyzing that main drive off of Willow Creek. The parking, we're adding the parking on the left side of that site plan that does not exist now, and then we're converting and adding another 19 spaces where pad number 2 is. So the ground density will decrease a little bit, but the parking all meets the city of Prescott requirements for medical office buildings.
How many total spaces are being planned?
Total spaces in total 221 spaces.
Parking space.
That's correct, sir.
Thank you.
This is Kaylee. I just wanted to announce that board member Ray Everett is now present. Thank you.
I also wanted to say that Dr. Ascari apologizes. He wishes he could be on this meeting also, but he is kind of overwhelmed right now. So his apologies.
Yeah.
Is there any other? Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Ray Everett, and I'm here.
Thank you, Ray.
This is Larry Mead.
Pardon me?
Go, Larry.
Who wishes to speak?
This is Bill Weber. I wish to address Mr. Stroh.
Okay, go ahead, Bill.
Yes.
Hi, Doug. I'm the owner of the smaller building when you first come in on lot 5 to the left. And parking has always been the question in this situation, and I'm glad to see that they move forward on the long line of parking spaces That would probably be to the west is what my guess would be in this situation. Has a study been done to overlook the entire subdivision so that now, in other words, I still have a lot to build on, which is something I'm considering here shortly. Is there enough parking for the entire subdivision is my question.
Yes,
The rest of the project's fine.
Yes, I should have clarified that. If you look at the master plan that Tammy had put up earlier, it does show the entire complex, everyone's buildings, and the requirements for every building. So basically, the master parking plan does take into account all the existing 3 buildings and the new one also, and it meets all of the criteria per the city of Prescott parking requirements. Your building, for example, requires 37 spaces.
And you took that into account if I build out the last 2,000 square feet of that building pad?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Otherwise, I looked at the project and I'm thankful that he chose the lot to the far back because I think that is the best enhancement for this size of the building.
It is. As you know, it's probably 10 feet lower than Willow Creek. And of course, it's not contiguous to any residential and has the heavily treed wash behind it. So I think it's kind of a perfect setting for the building. The architecture of the building, as you noticed on the renderings, ties in with his 2 existing buildings, which I think they did a nice job on, and I'm very happy how the design turned out on this one too. I think it'll be a very positive addition to your center.
I only have one last question. Is there an egress or a exit back behind this building for traffic to escape?
No. If you look at the site plan, the only way to get in and out of the site would be through the main entrance. And of course, there used to be a connection to the car wash. I'm not privy to why that is or is not going to be continued. I suppose the neighbor didn't want that. So there would only be the one main entrance off of Willow Creek. There is a access in that new parking lot that we're running north and south on the west side. And you can go in there and head north. Yes, in that area there, and we're paving that down there because there are a couple of manholes down there that the city needs access to. So we worked with the city to accommodate their requirements on getting vehicles down there.
But there is no exit there, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay, so everybody would come in and out of the main Willow Creek
yes.
Egress. Okay.
Yeah, and as you know, I mean, traffic kind of trickles in and out there. I mean, probably a little bit more in the morning when everybody comes to work, but I've been there many times, and it's I don't see more than 1 or 2 people coming in or going out. So obviously there will be some additional traffic, but I don't see a lot of traffic at this intersection.
I have no more questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve?
I don't have anything other than I'm ready to make a motion.
Well, we've got a couple more folks that want to speak, though.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do see something in chat from neighbor Gary Bregman of Dollar General, and he had a question about the flow of traffic. That's all he wrote. Gary,
Yeah.
do you have audio?
Yes, I have audio. Actually, I have video too, but it's okay. You don't need to see me. Quick, it's been a lot of development there, and it's really been wonderful. I just think that this is fabulous. I am concerned about there's a new apartment complex that just came in right nearby, and then this coming in, and now maybe another development right around there. I am very concerned about the one point of access. It may be that up till now it's been trickled, but as this develops, I'm just wondering, is there any thought about improving the ingress and egress from another point, as we were just talking about from Willow Creek? I just think that it's just going to get more and more fabulous there. I'm not complaining. I just want to make sure that it's thought about, because people waiting on Willow Creek Road to come in, if it gets a lot of traffic, you're going to be waiting a long time. Question for that.
This is Tammy from the city of Prescott. Our traffic engineer is watching this intersection as it is being developed, and that if there are needed changes, he'll be working with the property owners in the city in regards to what will be required to improve that intersection if it becomes a problem.
Correct. That traffic study should be done in, I think, probably 2 to 3 weeks, and then we're dealing with the engineers, and we will, do whatever recommendations come up per that report and per the request for the city engineers. We understand your concerns.
Thank you very much.
This is Ray Everett, and it was the only concern I had when I'm looking at the maps and went by the unit itself and drove by there, and I thought, that's awfully narrow if they're going to have a lot more traffic.
Yeah, that's part of what the study is going to enlighten us.
Are there any more comments?
Yes, Tony, this is Larry Mead.
Hey, Larry.
I have some questions and comments for Mr. Stroh. Mr. Stroh, I'm looking at the overall site plan A1.0.
Yes.
And you've got the total parking spaces required and total parking spaces provided. I believe those are both 221.
The total of all 4 properties adds up to 221 required. All 4 buildings.
Okay, and you just met it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Some other questions I have about, in your letter, you mentioned that you have some, with this project, high energy efficiency aspirations. I wonder if you could elaborate on that.
Well, the building is being designed to Energy Star criteria, which means it's more insulated than a normal building would be. We're using polyurethane foam for the insulation. Of course, we're using a rubber roof, so we don't have to worry about roof leaks. We're using high performance windows, low E type dual pane windows. The heat pumps that we're using are high efficiency, high SEERs, probably a SEER of 20. And of course, all of the lights are LED lights, with the exception of the surgery lights. And so we're looking at it, from an energy standpoint, where we've done pretty much everything we can. This building should perform at about 50% lower utilities than your typical minimum code type building.
So you might meet a certain LEED status or level?
No, we're not going for LEED. Nowadays it's always important, but most, all the products are coming from companies that are LEED certified already. And so we have, looked at that. They're going to be primarily from within a 500-mile radius. So it's kind of a light combination of LEED and Energy Star is what we're trying to achieve. And we try to do that on all of our commercial buildings and have been successful with that. And the performance has been very, very positive.
Well, thank you. Some other questions I have is the 4.6.3E of our development code has a height limit for this neighborhood-oriented business district of 35 feet. I understand you've made an application for a waiver on that.
Correct. the 35-foot height limit is really, really tight to get a 3-story building. And I've encountered this, well, numerous times in the past. I'm sure other developers and builders have too. It's just floor to floor is really limited. And so, and we're going to do a minimal parapet to help make that happen. We do have some rooftop units. They're going to be in the center of that building. They're going to have a screen around them, the same kind of rusted screen that's on Ascari's main building. And so you're not going to see those, but just from a height standpoint, to get the floor to floor we need, and of course it's really dictated with the surgery center. We need minimum heights in those surgery operating rooms and things like that. So basically we needed that extra 5%, every inch that we could get to get this building to 3 feet, and which fills out the site perfectly. It maximizes the site. It meets all the parking criteria. So basically we needed those inches.
Sure. Well, in fact, when I was looking at the floor plans, I noticed that I don't see an elevator equipment room. So I wondered if that was going to go on the roof.
No, the new elevators have all the equipment below. They don't need a separate equipment room when you're going with a 3-story building nowadays. So you obviously have been in the business, but yeah, that's the new thing now on 3 to 4-story buildings. We don't need a separate equipment room.
Wow, that's great.
Progress.
That takes care of my questions and comments.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments or individuals wishing to speak? Well, then I will entertain a motion.
Tony, this is Steve Silvernail.
Yes, Steve.
I move to approve CUP 20-002 to approve a 20,000 square foot building in neighborhood-oriented business zoning district located at 3128 Willow Creek Road.
Sir, did you say 20,000 or 24,000?
24,000.
Thank you.
And I second the motion.
Who was that?
Ray Everett.
Okay, Ray, thank you. Any further comments?
Okay, you gotta unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. All right, I'm going to now take a vote. Say yes or no after your name. Steve Silvernail.
Yes.
Ray Everett. Ray? I know he votes yes because he seconded the motion. Okay, I'm going to move forward. Tony Teeters.
Yes.
Johnny Forker. Believe she's still not on audio. Larry Meads.
Yes.
Jerry Kaufman.
Yes.
Mary Frederickson.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes 5-0. We will collect the other 2 votes.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. It's going to be a great project for the city.
I agree. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Tony, can you read the last item into the record, please? Why bring up?
Okay. Agenda item V 20-002, variance to Article 2, Section 2.5.2B, accessory uses and structures general of the Land Development Code to allow an increase in the allowed total gross floor area of all accessory buildings of 1,878 square feet by 1,354 square feet for a total of 3,323 square feet of accessory structures to allow for a new 1,200 square foot storage building on a 1.52 acre parcel, zoning SF35. Property owner is Greg Murrell. Agent is Chris Robinson, Century Builders LLC. Located at 3303 Pleasant Valley Drive, Prescott, Arizona.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board, Tammy, community planner. Here's the zoning map of the property. It is SF35. It is located in the outlying areas of the city where we have some larger parcels out here. Per the land development code for accessory buildings, you're only allowed a total of 3 detached accessory buildings, and the gross floor area of all those buildings shall not exceed 600 square feet or 50% of the total gross floor area of the principal structure on the lot, whichever is greater. So for this property, the total gross floor area of the principal structure of the lot is 3,756 square feet. They're only allowed to have up to 1,878 square feet of total detached accessory structures. Currently on the parcel, there is 2,123 structures. We do have a horse stall, another shed on the building. So they already are at that max, but those were done under old codes. So to allow us to permit this new building in this location, we need to go through the variance process to increase the allowed square footage for the detached accessory buildings. And this is something that, as we've been looking through our code with these larger parcels, is possibly relaxing this part for these larger parcels. Even with the development of this new building, they're only covering 8% of the property with structures. And in this zoning district, you're allowed to cover 30% of the property with structures. So they're still way below what they would be allowed just for lot coverage allowance with this new building. Here's the proposed site plan. As I said, here's the residence with an attached garage. We have a horse barn here. We have a shed, and these are existing. And then here in the southwest corner of the property is where the new metal storage building is being proposed. Around the property, it is vacant. Then we have residential over here, and the rest has been developed residential properties. Here's the access to the property, so it's not a flat piece of property. And the proposed building is going to be way back in the back of the property back here. So it's not going to be visible from the road. It may be visible from some other neighbors, but not from the road. And I wasn't able to get on the property for more pictures, so this is all I have besides the imagery that we have here. But as you can see, it's going back here in the back portion of the spot area, and the rest of this right here is vacant around it. And then we have a residence here, and the residence up front here. So that's the motion is to move to approve or deny variance 20002 to allow an increase in the allowed total gross floor area of all accessory buildings of 1,878 square feet by 1,354 square feet for a total of 3,323 square feet of accessory structures to allow for a new 1,200 square foot storage building on a 1.52 acre parcel per the site plan with the application, site plan submitted with the application. We have got some calls on this from people that were concerned that we were rezoning this to commercial. This is not a rezoning application. It's just to allow for this new building on the property, which would be for their own personal storage workshop building. There are no commercial uses proposed on the property that we know of, but this is not a rezoning. This is just to allow them to have a personal storage building for the property. And that concludes my presentation. I'm free to answer any questions, and the applicant and the agent are also on the phone too to answer any questions.
Thank you, Tammy. Any comments from the board?
Yes, Tony, this is Larry Meads.
Go ahead, Larry.
From looking at that site plan, it looked to me like they might, are they raising 2 of those structures there to make room for this new structure?
This is Chris. Sorry, Tammy, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Do you mean, are we demolishing any of the other buildings?
Yeah, because it looks to me like there are a couple of structures there where the proposed structure is going to be going.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They're just, that's a good question, Greg. I believe one of them is just one of those little portable build-a-sheds. Is that correct, Greg?
Yeah, those have been removed. There's nothing there anymore.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. And my other question is about, I don't know what you're going to use the building for, but you say you're not going to have any plumbing or electric in there. I just want you to be aware of whatever your electrical service will accommodate someday.
It's just storage.
Sorry, Greg, go ahead.
I was just going to say it was just storage. I have a tractor and a car and stuff. I just want to park it in there. Just some place to get it out of the elements.
Yeah, at this time we're not planning to put any electrical in the building. If at any point Greg wanted to move forward with that, he would contract with the electrical company and they'd go through the proper permitting process to get that approved.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't see the service. It was way in the back. I don't know if it's 100 or 200 amp or who knows. I don't. Just FYI. And I had some of these numbers about the principal structure being 3,756 square feet, but your drawing, the dimensions on your drawing didn't reflect that. So I'm wary about those numbers, but it doesn't concern me to the extent that I would not approve this application.
No, understandable. Please continue.
This is Tammy from the city. I got those numbers from the assessors. They have drawings and what they assess the property on for livable area, and we use those numbers to base that calculation off of.
Yeah, we included a floor plan layout with the square footage. It's a 2-story residence. That's where you get the extra square footage. The square footage called out on the site plan, the 1584, is the footprint. Most jurisdictions go off of the actual roof space of the residence, not the square footage. So that's typically what our site plans show. That's why the discrepancy.
And I see on your site plan now, I overlooked, you've got a 200 amp panel there on the side of the residence.
Yeah, correct.
I have no more questions or comments.
Any further comments from the board? Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak? Well, we can entertain a motion then.
Tony, this is Steve Silvernail. I move to approve V20-002 to allow an increase in the allowed total gross floor area of all accessory buildings of 1,878 square feet by 1,354 square feet for a total of 3,323 square feet of accessory structures to allow for a new 1,200 square foot storage building on a 1.52 acre parcel.
Jerry Kaufman, seconded.
Okay, we're ready to take a vote.
Yep.
Steve Silvernail,
Yes.
Ray Everett,
Yes.
Tony Teeters,
Yes.
Donnie Porker. Nope, still no audio. Larry Mead,
Yes.
Jerry Kaufman,
Yes.
Mary Frederickson.
Yes.
The motion passes 6-0.
So
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tammy, for your good presentation.
Thank you. And thank you for all our board members and the public and applicants to participate in our Zoom meeting. And Bryn, do you have anything to add that you want to say?
Thank you, Tammy. Tammy, I want to thank you for the great work today. This is unconventional for us as well as all of those in attendance, and we just want to express our appreciation to the board and our council liaison, Councilman Sishka, and the public who came to participate in this meeting today. Much appreciated, and we thank you for being here.
Yeah, well, I personally thank you, Kevin, because we're all old and this is new to us.
Speak for yourself.
No problem.
Well, if I had a gavel, which I don't, I should have picked a gavel up. I will adjourn the meeting then.
Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'm sorry.
Second, Steve.
Me.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.